love 90s blockbusters here at Giant Freakin' Robot if you watched our video on Event Horizon. And after bringing up Spawn in a not-so-favorable way in that video...
Previously on Giant Freakin' Robot.
Spawn! Maybe the 90s weren't as great as I remembered.
And now...
we thought we should take a look back at comic book movies from the 90s and give them a fair shake. And for every The Crow or Blade, there's usually a Captain America or a Steel.
What do you got, a water pistol?
But one incredibly entertaining 90s comic book superhero blockbuster utterly flopped at the box office and still doesn't seem to get the appreciation it really deserves today. No, it's not Spawn. I'm Drew Deitch, and let's slam some evil as we look back at The Phantom. A movie that's much more fun than its reputation would lead you to believe.
This is it. It's happening right here and now.
Before we dive into The Phantom, we need to contextualize this unique piece of comic book history. Originally appearing in a 1936 newspaper strip by Lee Falk, The Phantom was a pulp superhero from the golden age of pulp superheroes. Predating Batman by 3 years, The Phantom had a trusty manservant, a secret cave as a hideout, and used the cowardly and superstitious feelings of criminals against them by purporting to be an actual ghost. Yes, the Phantom was a clear inspiration for Batman.
Hi, Freeze. I'm Batman.
So it seems obvious that the massive success of Tim Burton's Batman in 1989 would also spur interest in this predecessor. Eventually coming to fruition in 1996, The Phantom was one of many pulpy action heroes that got feature films in the wake of Batman.
I dreamed I tore all the skin off my face and was somebody else underneath.
You have problems.
What makes The Phantom such a delightful experience is how earnest an adaptation it is. Set in 1938, director Simon Windsor and screenwriter Jeffrey Boehm treat the material as if it's going to be produced in 1938. Much like Raiders of the Lost Ark, there isn't a hint of irony or self-satire in this movie's bones. From the Phantom's accurate costume design to the period-appropriate performances...
What is this, a ship full of women?
It wants to be the truest adaptation of the character and his world it can be. That means that the cast is playing things in a warm but admittedly antiquated way.
What's in the sandwich?
Bologna.
That's easy to read as cheesy, but it's crucial to the film working. This is the kind of movie where this pose is taken 100% seriously. And that's not a bad thing. Every performer is on the movie's classically comic book wavelength.
You know, in all my life, I never heard such tall tales.
This keeps the tone light, fun, and breezy. Yes, this isn't a movie with heavy thematic resonance or super complex characters, and that's okay. Its goals are simple, and it meets them at every turn. Don't take this to mean there aren't good performances in The Phantom. The cast is stacked with notable stars and excellent character actors. Billy Zane plays the Phantom, also known as Kit Walker.
Ladies, kindly pardon my error.
Like Clark Gable or Errol Flynn would play him. There are perfect supporting turns from Catherine Zeta-Jones
Get a good look.
and James Remar as two of the minor villains. Kristi Swanson plays the no-nonsense romantic lead, Diana Palmer, with old-school assurance.
Phantom has good taste.
The always awesome Cary Hiroyuki Tagawa shows up late in the film as an evil pirate, and it is an absolute treat.
You have no bargaining power with me, Mr. New York City.
Watch him dispatch Richie from The Sopranos with a cannon!
Fire the cannon.
It's also nice to see veteran actor Patrick McGoohan show up as the spirit of Kit's father, the previous Phantom, maybe even adding a little supernatural spin to things. But if there's one cast member who threatens to steal the entire show, it's Treat Williams as the antagonist, Xander Drax.
Good man.
Williams relishes every moment that he gets to be a scenery-chewing baddie.
Show me the power! Show me the power!
You can practically see his teeth marks in the set.
I love this!
It's the kind of unhinged,
Okay, Ray, that's how you feel about it.
delectable bad guy that we just don't see enough of anymore in these kinds of movies.
Really? Are you sure?
Treat Williams is always one of the best elements in any movie he's in, and The Phantom is no exception.
Good. Personal pleasure. I overlooked that one.
Maybe the most admirable trait of The Phantom is its production design and tactile nature. As I said, this comes across like a 1938 movie that was made in 1996. The sets, stunts, costumes, and filmmaking approach all reinforce that this is a movie that knows it's a movie. Realism is not what this is striving for. By realizing that, the film is allowed to look stagey and not try to go overboard with modern effects. Instead, it can be as pulpy and cartoonish and as old-fashioned as it desires in every way. That might be one of the reasons The Phantom flopped, opening at the number 6 spot and ending its run with $23.5 million, around half of what it cost to make the movie. One of the most important takeaways when looking at the failure of a movie at the box office is that the fault is not solely about the movie's perceived quality. It's always a multitude of factors that contribute to a movie's initial failure.
Have you been talking to my ex-wives?
With The Phantom, it's likely to do with a shift in what audiences were enjoying in regards to action cinema. Michael Bay's The Rock opened the same weekend and claimed the number 1 spot. Mission Impossible and Twister were at number 2 and number 3, and they were on their 3rd and 5th week of release, respectively. Audiences were seeing that action films were becoming even bigger spectacles thanks to advances in special effects. The Phantom just looked, well, too old-fashioned compared to everything else at the theater. There's also the matter of these pulp adventures never really clicking with modern audiences. The Rocketeer, The Shadow, and Dick Tracy, all of which have their merits, had underperformed. Moviegoers didn't seem to be attracted to these characters and their period or period-inspired takes. A facet of that same issue is recognition. The Phantom didn't have the same level of cultural saturation or widespread nostalgia as a character like Batman. Truth be told, the feature film was the first knowledge I ever had of the character. It's likely that a lot of these superhero characters needed some baked-in familiarity with audiences in order for them to show up. The Phantom had a lot going for it. It was a handsome production. There was a strong marketing push that even involved got milk. And it was positioned as a perfect summer superhero movie. Unfortunately, none of those helped it from tanking during its opening weekend. It's a legit bummer that The Phantom didn't hit it big at the box office. Roger Ebert awarded it 3.5 stars, the same score he gave to Spawn. Am I going to have to watch Spawn and make a video about it? Ebert called it one of the best looking movies in a long time.
I would recommend to people that if they want to completely forget everything about the plot and everything about the story,
Which wouldn't be a bad
this
idea.
movie is worth seeing for the production design by Paul Peters. This is one of the greatest looking movies I've ever seen.
And as far as throwback classic movie productions go, he was right about this one. If you're looking for a movie that captures the foundational spirit of comic book adventure, The Phantom is for you.
Salami-day! You okay?
Expertly crafted in its simplicity, it's not a movie that deserves to be overlooked or underappreciated.
The skulls have spoken.
It's time for a new generation of fans to discover The Phantom and slam evil on their own.
Whoa! The oversitis is really flaring up again.
What other 90s superhero movies deserve to be rediscovered and given another shot? Let us know in the comments and make sure to subscribe to the channel for more videos.
Oh, cute. You're very cute.
Maybe even a Spawn one if you ask really nice.
Bonnie's funny, he's our man. If you can't kill him, no one can.
I'm Drew Deitch, and we'll see you next time here on Giant Freakin' Robot.